started. City Council of Briaroaks is now in session. Roll call.
Mayor Jerry Mabry.
Here.
Councilmember Andy Bode.
Here.
Phillip Laux.
Here.
Jack Perkey.
Here.
Terri Witcher.
Here.
Carolyn Johnson.
Here.
They're all present. We have a quorum.
Okay. First on the agenda is discussion on the possibility of hiring a city attorney. So we're open for discussion. Anyone?
Well, I think that we should select Wayne Olson, Taylor Atkins, or Taylor Olson, Atkins, Strell, and Elon. They have a rather large and responsive group of attorneys, and he was willing to show up, even brought an associate with him, answered our questions, and we do need an attorney. And I would suggest that we go ahead and enlist Mr. Olson as our city attorney.
All right. Then,
Can I say something?
yes.
I've talked to a person on Burleson City Council and also Cleveland that have had Mr. Olson as their attorney, and neither one of them had favorable things to say. Just to say, I did reach out to you, and I just wanted to, put that out there.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I don't think we have a formal motion.
What?
We don't have a formal motion. Mr. Bode didn't make a motion.
I make a motion that we select Wayne Olson, Taylor Olson, Atkins.
Can I ask one more question about the contract?
Yes,
What kind
go
of
ahead.
contract do we have with this man, or do you plan on having with this attorney? I just don't know if it's for a certain period of time.
What?
Is it the contract with this attorney? Is it going to be for a certain period of time? Is it that could be canceled? Could we do like a 6-month trial? I mean, I just want to know, is it forever? Do you have a contract or?
I would think that it would be open-ended as far as if we decide to let them go, that we should be able to do so. Now, this is a matter of selecting them, and we would make a formal agreement after we talk to them. I mean, whatever's decided, it needs to be for the best of Briaroaks.
Right, so we get to look at the contract? The city council gets to approve the contract?
I don't know why it couldn't.
Okay, because that's...
This is the selection process of getting them on board and seeing what we have to do to retain them.
As part of the selection process goes, Mr. Olson is the one who came here and spoke to us and answered the question, right?
Yes.
Okay. We had another attorney because we wanted to get more than one bid. Did we ever get the other attorney?
No.
Did anyone else show
They
up?
refused to do it. That's when I had computer issues that evening, so no, we don't want.
See what his contract was. He had good answers. He came, listened to us, talked to us, had good answers. And all the neighbors use them. And as far as whether you can say favorable things about them or not, y'all heard my opinion on the words. It's kind of like your cable provider or your internet provider. Everybody has to have one, but nobody's really happy with it in the end. We just keep paying them money. You get a service out of them, but nobody's in love with them, you know what I'm saying? So, that's my opinion. I end up working with them a lot, that's why.
Okay, we have,
To finish my motion and Elam for city attorney.
okay,
So, hold on. Can we repeat that? So I have that you make a motion that we select Wayne Olson of TOASC, and what was the last part?
The city attorney is.
As the city attorney. Okay.
okay. We've had a motion made. Do I hear a second? Well, second,
We'll take Phillip. He said it first.
okay. All in favor of hiring this particular attorney? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm abstaining.
Jack, you have your hand up?
Yes, sir. He
Okay,
did.
thank you. Motion been made and carried. 4 opposed? Okay. Looks like we've hired an attorney. Okay. Next item on the agenda is to discuss the possible actions of determining authorization that will be speaking to the attorney. Open for discussion.
I believe Mr. Olson said that he normally speaks to the mayor and the secretary when we interviewed him.
Do what?
Mr. Olson indicated in the interview that he normally interacts with the mayor and the secretary.
Okay.
And at first, I think it should probably be just the mayor that directs the contacts, just to limit the liability of us getting charged for things.
Well, do you think maybe if 2 city council members agreed to contact the attorney, would that be enough to say yes? Because I'm afraid of the communication between the mayor and the attorney, and what the attorney says back to the mayor, and how it will get back to the person that has a question.
Well, there needs to be better communication amongst all the us members, period.
So the
But-
mayor then will understand our question and then be able to reply to the attorney with that, and in turn, the attorney will reply back to the mayor, and we
Yes.
can get that as a lot of passing on.
But still, it would be better to, if you have something that you feel needs to be asked, put it in writing and get it to him.
This is my concern. I've had agenda items for the past 2 meetings from citizens of this town that haven't got on the agenda. So
Right.
I'm being ignored in that manner. So why do you think if I had a question for the attorney or anybody around here?
If he gets 100 questions, he's going to narrow it down. We can only ask so much at one time. I mean, there's going to be discovery or whatever, of him learning about us and us learning about him.
So all city council members can have a voice to the attorney.
Well, he should be at the meetings as well.
Our attorney will be at the meetings.
Yes.
He said
He agreed that he would be at the meetings, and if he could not make it, then an associate would be,
An associate, not him himself.
and more than likely the one that had come with him. That way everyone has a chance. But at first it's more a matter, I would think, of keeping us from paying a $2,000 bill right off the bat.
Can I say something on that? We just voted to explore this law firm. We haven't paid him anything. He's not paid, so we still have questions for him and do a contract. Him being an attorney for several of the surrounding cities, some smaller, some larger, them being very familiar with this, I bet he has an answer for us, and that's what the attorney's for. I bet he has a suggested route for that. I'm sure he's run into this where some council members feel not heard and some want to contact him. But
Well, he said when we interviewed him, he normally went through the mayor and the secretary. So y'all are taking the secretary out of that? That's normally what he does.
I would bet if we voiced your concern
Right.
to him.
Well, that was what he said. He
It's-
normally did.
It's not on the agenda, but there could be a conflict of interest at the moment as far as the secretary is concerned.
I thought we were talking about discussion and possible action to determine
Yes.
persons who authorized or proceeds to contact the
You mentioned with the secretary right now.
Well, that's what he mentioned. The attorney said.
That's what he mentioned, yes, but it may be a conflict of interest at this moment.
Why is that?
It's not on the agenda and we really shouldn't talk about it, but it has to do with the letter that everyone on the council received that needs to be dealt with.
She's still the city secretary, though, so.
But I'm just saying, as of right now, I think it would be better for us to just have the mayor direct the questions.
Okay, then the attorney would be present if anybody else on the council.
But he will be here.
I bet the attorney has an answer.
If there's a meeting that we don't feel that we require him to be here,
Who determines that?
well, we could determine that before we have the meeting. Like we're sitting here right now. The next meeting, if there is something that needs to be on the agenda that needs to be discussed or talked about, and you want an attorney's opinion, that would be a good time to have it here. But if it's just run-of-the-mill, we're just gonna do minutes, reports, adjourn, there's no need to.
Okay, so the city council could determine the meeting before, okay.
Everybody
Just
should
to make
have
sure
a voice.
everybody here has to say something.
Yeah, everybody would have a voice. That's why this is the council.
I agree.
Okay.
I totally agree. So when things are voted in, then they have to be voted out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as right now, I would say just the mayor directs after hours. How's that?
The mayor, what? Say the last part again?
In between meetings, he would direct the contact with, as far as questions.
Or if we needed something, then we would give that to the mayor, and he would then relay it to the attorney.
Right. And that is something that needs to be worked out with Mr. Olson.
I have a question. Isn't it better, since you're still in the formalizing stage of this, to just have one person go in and find out what it is that is needed from him as far as ordinances and corporation papers and everything else so he knows what he's dealing with as well, because I'm sure he's not going to spend a tremendous amount of time researching that if he's not going to end up the city attorney. So at least initially, it would be a better thing, I would think, to not waste a lot of time on having people in there calling, whatever, when you're just in the exploratory stages of this, that you may find out that you don't really want to hire him, I don't know. But I would think it'd be better just for one person to be researching this and talking to him than 20 people.
To have one voice initially, I
One
agree.
voice.
Yeah, I agree.
So the mayor's gonna get all of this stuff to the attorney?
Well, you gotta find out what he needs first.
Okay,
Yeah,
so once we find out,
initial
the
contact.
mayor will give him that information?
The initial contact.
He's the mayor.
We're new to this.
What's wrong?
He's the mayor.
He's the mayor.
That's,
Well, I think it's probably one of y'all getting that information. I'm just
y'all are
asking.
supposed to give him the information, put it together, and then he can distribute it. You don't pin all of that stuff.
So-
Whoever the secretary does, I just wondered.
We're still wondering what he needs and how that works for him. He's the professional, he does this. He's gonna send somebody down here and tell us exactly what he needs.
Exactly.
And exactly how it should work.
And, you know, that may
That's
be
what they
accomplished.
do.
And the very next meeting that he shows up at, that can all be taken care of then. Is that agreeable?
Make a motion.
I make a motion that initially we have just the mayor authorized to make the initial contact, the back and forth with the attorney.
Until we establish with the attorney.
Right. We need to establish the guidelines after that
With
point.
the attorney.
This is initial, yes.
But then the attorney will be present in case anybody on the city council has any questions. If we deem
I know
necessary.
he's gonna send somebody down here or we're not gonna pay him. So,
Well, then, Andy just said we have to determine in the meeting if we want him at the next meeting. So there's an answer. Okay, so they will be
We
here
could
at
have
the
him
time.
at this next meeting.
Requested.
yeah, when we go to hire him,
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
come on down to the meeting, let's see what you need.
Is the motion that I made agreeable?
Motion has been made. Let's see this. The mayor will correspond with the attorney to start with. Do I hear a second? Opposed? All in favor? Okay. Terry, did you vote?
I did,
No, I'm Terry.
I did.
Okay, thank you. Looks like 4-1. Motion carried. 5 of them, I'm sorry. Okay. Then that looks like it for the agenda, so the city council will adjourn at this time.
We gonna have a motion for that?
Yes.
Okay, motion been made that we adjourn. All in favor?
No, we don't have a motion. Who made the motion?
Everything's taken care of. You can just adjourn.
Shouldn't have to when I adjourn you.
Okay.